This Christian journey can be a lot sometimes, but you don't have to do it alone. Welcome to The Walk, where we take the questions you've wondered, taboo topics, and create a safe space to discuss them all. So are you ready? Let's go. Well. It's another walk. It's Friday. We are happy about it. That means it's the end of the week. And as always, we have a good one for you all today. So you are in the right place, the right time, the right spot. So welcome to The Walk. And we are very excited. Well, I haven't been on here for a little bit. First time for this season.
He abandoned us. Y'all don't know, Shane abandoned us.
I saw some
wondering
capable people, capable, more than capable. So, of course, I'm Shane. We have Andre, and we have a special guest today, Faithful, which we are so excited to learn more about her and her story. And you are in for a treat. But as always, don't be selfish. Don't keep this to yourself. Make sure you share this live so that other people can enjoy it as well. And while you're doing that, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. So make sure you do that. Find some people and get locked in today. But before we kick off, let's go ahead and bow our heads for prayer. God, we thank you so much for this day. Thank you for bringing us to the end of another week. Different people have had different weeks, I am sure, but you saw fit to bring us to this moment, and we just want to say thank you. So as we go through this discussion today, I pray that it is edifying, it's inspiring, and that those who listen may be blessed. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.
So always what we do with every walk is we start off with a segment called Won't He Do It? And there's always something to testify of. Sir. And so we want to make sure that we stick to tradition and do that. So start thinking about your testimonies. I think mine is going to be, I can't believe that was it the 20th? Yeah, February 20th. And I'm like, man, I feel like I was just celebrating my birthday yesterday, and that was January 4th. So it's just like, wow, this year is flying by. And by the time you think about it, 1/6 of the year is done.
Wow.
When you put it that way, and then the end of March is going to be 1/4 is done. So I'm like, what is time doing? It doesn't really quite make sense.
Flying.
I'm okay with it.
It is flying. But I'm still grateful to be here. And I think my testimony is I started this year trying to read the Bible in a year again. And so I think this would be the third time. But I'm doing something different. I'm trying to do it the chronological way.
Gotcha.
And so I think that's been helpful so far.
Honestly,
I think it went from
I'd recommend honestly.
Genesis to Job.
Right? Yep.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's different. And now I'm back to Exodus. So it's actually making a lot more sense reading it in story order. And then the plan I'm using, they always have like a video recap. So anything that you might have missed or kind of wondered about, there's someone like talking through it. So I'm glad that I've been able to be consistent with that so far. I haven't skipped a day like before. Nice. I'm just like, man, I gotta catch up. And once you lose one day in the Bible app and you see, I got 10 chapters, it gets a little discouraging. So I thank God for keeping me consistent with that.
Yeah. All right, I'll go next. For y'all that have been tuning in for a while, y'all know I talk about the Walk Fridays because it's like the devil knows it's Friday. And that Friday always is a crazy day at work. Like, it'll just be like anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Last minute patience added, all kinds of nonsense. And then I need to like rush here. It's like chaos. And then it's like, all right, we're going live. Okay. And we start. But God always comes through even in those like Fridays. But I will say he did his thing today because I had a normal, nice, calm Friday. It was great. Like I got here early. I was just sitting and waiting. It wasn't as much of the chaos as it normally is before an episode. So I'm just thankful that God decided to give me a break from these Walk Fridays. I'm loving it.
Love that.
And I would say for me, well, one, I'm just grateful to be here. This is something that I am, really thankful and grateful just to be able to share my story and, support you all. And I will also say at work, it was a lot. The weekends, going to the weekends is always something on a Friday. But today I had a couple of students that were absent, so I was thankful to God about that.
I understand that.
I hope they're not watching.
Well, they know who they are. So I was just thankful just to get through the day and just be able to, go home, prepare and be here tonight.
Love that.
Yeah.
And she traveled, y'all.
Yeah, for real.
Yep.
She traveled, and it's even a blessing that we had a brief communication today, because we might not have had Faithful in person today.
It would have been me and Shane talking.
Right.
I'm just glad that I checked the GPS at the time I checked the GPS.
Yes.
Because
If y'all would have saw my face, like when
How
I
was your
got that
face?
message, like I think when you sent it, I was driving home. Maybe I'm driving home. I look. Mount Sinai. Oh my gosh. I was like, what? I sent that link so fast. I was like, no. Mount Sinai,
You were
please.
quick with it. You were
Please don't
quick
go.
with it. Quick with it. So thankful. Like, it's the little things that we
Yeah.
gotta thank God for.
yeah,
real.
no, literally.
An hour and almost 2 hours to
An
get
hour
here.
and 56 minutes.
Oh man, thank you.
Florida, I-4,
Ooh.
Friday traffic.
No tolls, by the way.
Oh,
No.
no tools.
Nope.
Okay.
You're brave.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. We appreciate that. Well, thank you for being here again. And one segment, I don't know if you know some of the Harriet birds in here.
That's my mama.
Oh, that's your mama. Okay. We have someone said big ups to the whole crew. Big ups back. I really don't know. I don't see a name, but you can let us know your name as well. But we are glad that you guys are here with us tonight. All right. So we have a segment called Word on the Street.
Uh-oh.
And it's time to discuss hot topics. And don't just listen to us, but we want to see you in the comments as well. All right.
It's on the
So men have been taught their entire life how to treat a woman, but not what to expect from a woman. Women were taught their entire life what to expect from a man, but not how to treat a man. Do you think this is an oversight that needs to be corrected? And that's the question tonight. So again, I'm going to run it back. This is from videos. It's been quite a few videos talking about this actually, but men have been taught their entire life how to treat a woman. So make sure you open the door, make sure you do this. And women were taught their entire life how to, what to expect from a man, but not how to treat a man. So it's just make sure your man opens the door and make sure he does this, but not necessarily how to treat a man. Do you guys feel like that's true? Is that sideways? Do you think it's an oversight? What are the thoughts today?
I'm going first.
It does.
Yeah, if you have something.
Yeah.
I think it can be subjective. One, I think it determines first who is teaching you that. And did that person receive that same information?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
So if, for instance, if your father taught you how to treat a woman, then of course that's what you would do. But if you had a father that did not teach you how to treat a woman, then it might be a little different.
Okay.
So I think it's really just where is that information coming from, and why do they believe that this is the way to treat a woman? Y'all
Like from
feeling-
what
yeah.
standards are they saying this? Is that what you're
Exactly.
saying? Okay. I think okay. So I don't know, because when I look at like the kind of society in general, I feel like I see a steady average in this regard, right? And that's whether people had people telling them something specifically or not. It's kind of like, even based off of that, society adopts like a certain notion or a certain like commonality with that. Now, and I'm not sure about the half of that has to do with women, but the statement that was about men being taught how to treat a woman, but not what to expect from it, from women. I was like, I felt like I feel like that one might be a little bit true, just because of the things that now people are trying to correct because of that. Now conversations come up because of that, because it's like, okay, well, I can treat you this way, that way, that way, but then they don't know or they're surprised when a woman reacts a certain way, or when they get when they're in certain situations with women, because they don't know what to expect. You know, when it to the woman, it's like, well, this is obvious, and to other women, it's like, and that's why they talk amongst themselves. They're like, yeah, he's tripping. Like, what do you mean? Like, he should have expected that, you know? And so now more conversations are being had, which is good, because that's how we'll hopefully correct this. But I think we're now getting to the point where we're starting to try to change these things, but I don't think it's necessarily like that from the jump.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say, so there's a comment here that says not all men have been taught how to treat a woman and vice versa.
Well, that's true. Some people didn't even get the first part. That's
yeah.
That is unfortunate, but true.
That is true.
Yeah. I think it's subjective, right? Because it's just like, you could have been taught something, but not everybody agrees that that's the way you should have been taught. You know, what's important to your family that brought you up and stuff like that. So I guess that is a little bit subjective. So maybe you're supposed to try to find the person that appreciates what you bring to the table and not necessarily try to shape someone into your version of what you're looking for.
Okay.
I disagree. Okay.
I thought we were all in the same.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Let's go there.
I think especially when it comes to relationships, going that route, just looking for someone that fits your brand and your model, allows you to settle into complacency. It's almost like it's almost like when you get around a group of people that think like you. You don't get challenged in that group. Whatever thought that you have, they're just going to back it up. So you could be thinking completely nonsense, and people are just going to co-sign that because you all think alike. But it's when you're amongst different people that what your beliefs are will get challenged. That doesn't mean they'll necessarily change, but they'll get tested. You know, because now you need to back this up to someone. They're going to fight you on it a little bit, and you have to like defend it. And if you can't defend it, that almost recertifies and resolidifies what you believe. But if you find yourself in that conversation, like, well, hold on, they're bringing up some points that I didn't consider. Now you have some homework to do. Now you have something to kind of recontemplate about what you believe. And that can solidify you in it, or it could start to like reshape things. But you won't go through that process if you're just around people that would agree with you. So same thing in relationships. If you're just like, well, this is who I am, who's going to accept me as this? What if there's some growth that you need to have? You know, like if you're just around someone that's going to accept just that, then you won't find that growth, you know? So I don't necessarily agree with that. That's why.
Well,
okay,
one more pushback.
All right, go ahead.
So then on the other end of it, then you have the potential to get in a situation where then that person cannot be happy because you don't kind of fall in or measure up with what they'd be looking for. So it's okay to be challenged, but then it's just like, it is always hard in life to find a balance. So like, what's the odds of finding like, okay, you know, this might be not what I'm used to or whatever, but I find someone that's willing to either challenge me, work with me in a peaceful, you know, type of way. It's kind of hard because like once you have expectations, you know, a lot of breakups happen because expectations weren't met. And so how do you kind of like balance the in between of that?
Yeah. And it's tricky. And it's honestly case by case, because you'll have the cases where neither side is kind of willing to bend, and that's going to break things. You have the side where it's all kind of one-sided, and then that can lead to resentment down the road. But there is that happy balance where someone can see like, hey, I noticed you're kind of deficient in this, and this is important to me. And the other person realizes, okay, that is not something that I had realized, but I think you're kind of right. And I do want that quality or that trait, and I'm willing to work on it. And it's not going to happen overnight. And if that person, if they're in a relationship where they're allowed to work through that in a healthy way, where they're given grace and like they're given patience and stuff like that, and effort is seen, then I think that works. And I think that builds a strong relationship. But it does take a lot of the balance in that, because things can go awry on either side.
On either side.
And that's the importance of this, is to know how to listen with the intent to understand, not to respond.
Yes.
Because if you're really listening to your significant other, people tell you about themselves from the moment you meet them. But a lot of us are not listening. A lot of us are trying to impress people. A lot of us are in our own heads being, thinking, oh my goodness, what about me? Instead of actually listening to the person. And so when you're listening to someone, and then you're also listening to, your boundaries, of course, the voice of God, number one,
absolutely.
then that's when you can start to have those type of conversations. Or when you might have to say, you know what, let me pivot. Because I do not believe in settling at all. I do believe that, what is for you is for you. I do believe that you can have what you desire in this life as long as it's according to God's will. I mean, that's even in the word that he will grant you the desires of your heart. However, that also comes with you putting in some work. Yeah. And a lot of times it's not so much the physical labor like Jacob did. It's mostly that internal labor.
It's the behind the scenes.
The listening. So
the listening. That's important.
Yeah.
Have some comments in here. Let's see.
I like this topic.
I think women are more so taught how to treat a man and meet a man's needs rather than how to treat their mental and emotional needs, at least from my experience. Meaning how to cook, how to dress to attract a man's gaze, etc. That's a good one. That's it. So, okay, let me ask one question because that could be true. Like, I mean, trying to teach someone to meet their mental and emotional needs could be a task. Like, how do you really teach that? But you can create awareness for sure. It's a lot easier to teach someone to cook and stuff like that than to, help them, with the mental and emotional needs. But is that the responsibility of someone to teach? Like, could your parents teach you that? Or do you just have to learn it through life experience?
I mean, if your parents happen to do that, then you would learn it that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if not, then it is something that probably life would teach you. Or in the journey of your relationships, you would probably realize like some guy would probably tell you that. That's probably what's going to happen. It's like you X, Y, and Z. And you're like, what are you even talking about? But that statement, it's kind of like double-sided because again, I feel like we're going through a shift in society right now. Men's mental and emotional needs weren't even a thing.
I was like, this is brand new.
That's true.
Women were like, what do you mean I need to cater to that? I didn't know you had that. Like, we weren't allowed to have that.
Yeah.
So it's new. So how are they supposed to have that if, they're just now finding out that it exists?
Yeah.
We're finding out that, we can have these needs. We can express that we have these needs. Whoa, like groundbreaking. So that it's kind of tough.
Depending on the crowd. You still might be called some names.
Oh, yes.
Depends on how emotional or mental, like,
when it comes to that, you have to be kind of secure.
But again, that's why I'm like, it's important to be, it's the balance of finding the right people. So I agree with you, like, not just go cater to your comfort area, but then if you're going to be in a place where that's not accepted, that's very damaging too,
Absolutely.
So it's a very tough thing
It's
to
a fine
balance.
line.
Yeah, it's a very fine line. And that's why I believe in the one. But anyway, just
we
had to
have a
slip
whole
that
different.
in.
We have a whole different.
CJ says, happy Sabbath from Portugal. He just had to show off on us right quick.
Hey, what time is it over there?
I just looked it up. It's 1:24 in the morning.
Wow.
Go to bed.
Hello.
But leave the show on so we get the view. All right. Yeah, thank you for watching from Portugal, man. Well, thank you guys for participating. We can talk about this stuff for a whole show easily, but today it's different, and we are excited to have Faithful, like we said, beyond the 9 to 5 faithful stories. So this should be very interesting, something for everyone. So again, gather the friends and family, and we are going to head into this. So really quick, if you don't know, our youth and young adult team decided this year for 2026 that our theme is going to be fueled by faith. And so that came from... Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like, ding.
Yeah. So fueled by faith. There's just a lot in the life that we live in and the experiences that we're going through that if you could have figured it out on your own, you would have. And so because you have to lean on God and you don't always know exactly what he's doing, how he's doing it, when he's doing it, you actually have to make a choice to either, have faith or don't have faith, right? And so we're choosing that one of the best ways to really live is to let go, let God, have faith.
Right.
Just let that fuel you, right? So we have a fun, hopefully it's fun, quick way that we want you to give a little synopsis of you. So before I get there, what is one thing you would say has fueled your faith? I forgot to ask you that question.
I was wondering. I was like,
yeah, I totally skipped that. Sorry.
Honestly, I think it's the thrill of the unknown.
The thrill. Oh, yeah, she's different, y'all. She's different. The thrill of the unknown.
Okay.
It's the hope that it is going to work out. Does that make sense?
And that outweighs
Does that make sense?
The potential negative.
Yeah. It's like, okay, but what if it does work? Like, but think about it. What if it does work?
Yeah, but what if it doesn't?
Right.
But what if it does?
But what if it doesn't?
But what if it does?
Okay. So it's worked in the past, right?
Yeah.
But it hasn't worked in the past.
It didn't work out the way I wanted it to work out, but it worked
so
out.
that's your attitude. Okay. It worked out. It always works out. Okay. Man. It always works out. And so I have to imagine that this might have been something you've heard before you truly believed it, right? I would assume maybe maybe it was just you that did that, or maybe it's something I'm trying to say, like, how you hear cliche things in church, right? It's just like, you know what, it's always going to work out. Don't worry about it. Yeah. So you might have heard that before you actually truly believed that as your mantra, I assume, right? Or
I've experienced it.
So
that's it. I've experienced it, and that is what made me say, okay, you know what? Because I can think back to before.
Gotcha. And you're like, oh, well, this tracks.
Yeah. So it's going to work out again. The key is to not get caught up in how you want it to work out.
Don't get caught up in how you want to work out.
That's what you have to let go.
How do you then balance having hopes, dreams, and aspirations, but still not being tied to it?
What do you mean by that?
So
let's break it down.
I feel like with that mentality, you would have some sort of dreams like in life, right? Yeah. And so, but a little bit earlier you were saying it's understood that if it doesn't work out, it's still the way I wanted it to work out. It still worked out, right? Yeah. So how do you balance between having like dreaming, choosing to dream? Like, do you just choose not to dream, and just like, okay, whatever happens. Oh, that's a surprise. Wow, I didn't expect that. Or do you still make a choice to like, man, I do want this out of life. I do want that. Which route do you kind of take? That's kind of like, so.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. I choose the intentional route that's submitted to God's will.
Okay.
So in this life, your first partner is God. Right? He knows everything. Okay. Like he knows exactly what's about to happen, what's not about to happen. Okay. So when you are in direct communication with God, you already release that anxiety of, okay, but Lord, I want it to happen this way. I want it to happen that way. Then too, when you're talking to him, he has placed those desires, those dreams in you. I didn't just wake up one morning and say, oh, I want to write a book. No, that was placed in me from a little girl. But I had to become the woman in order to be able to believe that I could write the book. You see? So when I'm, dreaming, I never not dream. I'm always dreaming. I never stop. And so when I'm, accomplishing my dreams, I give it to God. I say, look, you put this in me. Because if it was my way, I would be doing X, Y, and Z. So you put these dreams in me. So you need to make sure that it's funded. You need to make sure that I have the energy, the capacity. You need to bring people into my life. And that is how you develop that relationship with God on a more personal level. It's of, oh Father, who art in heaven, hallowed. No, but that more personal. But then also you win. You get to see your dreams come true.
I feel like we're gonna see more of it.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
You said we're gonna see what?
We're
gonna see more of that in actually, throughout the episode. So, this was the fun, quick. I was combining two words. Activity to kind of get to know you. So, imagine you had a profile that someone just landed on, right? Okay. And you know how there'll be like the picture, and then a very quick either. It's usually like 3 words or a quick blurb that tells like a person like, I landed on Faithful's page. This is what I need to know about her. So either in those few words or that quick blurb, what would that say?
That's a really great question. Got my mind thinking. In a quick way, I would just say chill, yet ambitious, loyal, faithful,
appropriate,
and determined.
Chill yet ambitious is almost like an oxymoron.
I know.
Right
now I'm chill.
Right.
I'm chilling right now. Like I'm chilling. But I'm also ambitious because I drove 2 hours to be here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Case in point.
That's a good one.
Take it.
You're quick on your feet.
Right. Take it.
I love that. Okay. So that was like the quick way. So now we're diving in. All right. So,
so
go ahead, Andre.
So Faithful.
Yes, talk to me.
Let's get to know you a little better.
All right.
Let's start at the beginning. Tell us about young Faithful. What was young Faithful like? What was it like growing up as Faithful?
Wow. So I grew up in a pastor's home. So my dad, he was an evangelist / pastor. So I grew up in a more SDA household. So I saw traditional,
okay.
So I saw a different side of things. However, I went to public school.
Okay.
From the very beginning.
I would say starting around 2nd, 3rd grade.
Okay.
So yeah, we could say the beginning. So I saw 2 types of lifestyles growing up all the way to when I went to college. But young Faithful, I was always cheerful. I was always, happy. I love I didn't really like talking too much to people, but I would always sing. That was my way.
Okay.
Always had a group of friends and always had money. Everyone knew Faithful had money.
Okay.
Always had money.
Okay.
Where did the money come from?
And I was about to say, Mama Harriet, and you were funding. You were funding. Okay.
Yeah. So that was just, young me. I always knew that there was a beautiful world out here and that one day I was going to experience it. Okay. So I was, was ambitious and driven.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you were a PK. Did you have the typical PK experience? Was yours unique? Like what was it like growing up as a PK?
So it was a little unique because, I was born in Louisiana. Yeah, I was born by the South. So I was born in Louisiana, and that's where, my father did a lot of his pastoral work, with the conference. But then I'm so grateful for my parents. They decided that they wanted, to have a better life. And so that's when we moved to Maryland. And my dad, he, got out of the conference, and he still did evangelistic work. But that's where they went into the education field. However, his title still traveled with him. Gotcha. He was still well known, even now in the DMV. So I was, still treated as a PK when it came to like the standards. Okay. I do remember, Dad preaching in the earlier days, of my life. But as far as every single Sabbath, Dad's up there preaching, me and Mom.
Congregation, they all know like, oh, that's Faithful, like that's.
Yep. But there was still that standard, circulating amongst like the church members. People would still come to me. We still had that in the household. So. Okay.
So you didn't do a lot of the like moving around as a PK, like, oh, Dad's preaching over here.
No.
Okay.
No, but we did go to a lot of different churches.
Okay.
Because we moved around within the DMV, going to different churches.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Now, you also mentioned that you always have money. I have to understand that. Were you like someone that like your parents gave you allowance and you were just like always saving up? Were you doing side hustles? Like, how did Faithful always have money?
Both. So I remember, I believe it was either third or fourth grade. My dad, he would quiz us on Bible verses.
Okay.
And so he had this game going where he would quiz me on a Bible verse, and then he would give me 25 cents. Now, mind you, to a 10-year-old, 25 cents, I'm rich.
Balling.
You know, I'm balling.
And also 25 cents used to get you something.
Exactly.
Back in the
It
day.
really did. It really got you a really nice snack, you know.
Go to them little vending machine things, you get a little toy.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I remember this clearly because this is when the entrepreneur in me started to come out, and I started to understand the importance of money and the value of money. So my dad, he did that for a while. Let's say maybe 2 or 3 months. And it was around the holiday season. And so what I would do is I would take that quarter, I put it in a cute purple lace metal purse, and then I would put it in, like the cubby, and I wouldn't touch it. I would not touch it. And then I remember it was Christmas holiday season, and I took out that purse, and I had like over $30 in it, between 30 to 40. Now, like I said, that's a lot of money back then. Okay, this is like 2003, 2004. That's a lot of money.
I get it. Yeah.
So, and I was so happy because I was able to buy my parents and my sisters basically what they wanted from me on their Christmas list to me.
How old are you at this age?
I was maybe like around between 7 to 10. Yeah.
Buying Christmas gifts for the family.
Yeah.
From your own money.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
And that, but I remember that so vividly because that's when I saw I like having money. I saw like I want to steward it. And what I really learned was how to steward money because I saved it. I didn't go and spend it on a gumdrop. I didn't go spend it on the ice cream man. I saved it. And then I was able to add value to my parents and my sister's lives by purchasing, a Christmas gift, So that's what happened.
You did this in and of yourself. It wasn't like your parents, because, some parents would be like, you can't spend this now, but I think it's better you say, or like your parents weren't telling you this. It was just kind of innate in you.
It was innate in me. I would give some credit. They probably did. I don't remember, but all I know is I would take that quarter and put it in my purse. Okay. That's what I would do. I would put it in my purse and I would put it up. And because I knew that I wanted to use it for later.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Honestly, it feels like you had some good like qualities innate in you because
thank you.
You already had this kind of like, don't spend everything you get.
Yeah.
And then when you did have enough, you didn't spend it on yourself. Yeah. That's really what really surprised me. I'm like, at that age, I'm like, oh, look at this. Like, time to treat me. Look what I did. I did the hard work. I saved this up.
Yeah.
Time to treat me.
Thank you.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
All right. Let's move to a little bit later in life. Let's move to college days. So, where did you go to college?
I went to Oakwood University.
Oakwoodite over here. Oakwoodite.
Oh, you has got that dum dum dum.
I was actually hoping you would sing something at some point. I was like, I would ask you, but I was like, she gave us a little sample. Okay.
So what was your experience like at Oakwood?
I had a blast.
Okay.
I had a great time. I went into college with the mindset. First, I'm not going to hold you. Love your mom and dad, but I was so happy to be
out the house.
Yeah. So happy to be out the house. But I went to college with the mindset, I'm going to have fun. I am going to, really use this time to continue to learn about Faithful Bird. And then also, see what opportunities are out here. Gotcha. Because at the time, HBCUs were heavily preached to our generation. So I was just grateful to be at an HBCU.
Gotcha.
So, and then on top of that, it was, a Christian HBCU. So I had a great time. I traveled. I still, have friends that I'm in communication with now. We're trying to plan a trip to New York. Okay. Just got the group chat invite the other day. So, I had a really great time. Yeah.
Okay. What did you go to Oakwood for? Where were you studying?
I studied TV broadcast in Spanish.
TV broadcast.
Yeah.
That is an interesting combo.
I know. Because see, for me, I knew that I was always going to be an entrepreneur.
Okay.
I just didn't know how it was going to happen. And so for me, I knew that going to college to become a lawyer, to become a doctor, to become a nurse was not it for me. So I said, well, I like to speak. And prior to that, all 4 years through high school, I was on the TV morning announcements. So that's where I got really comfortable with being in front of the camera, learning how to speak to people. And so with that, I said, well, why not, do TV broadcasts and then create your own show or something like that. That was my mindset at 17, 18. Okay. And then I wanted to learn Spanish because I knew that would be a great skill to have. Plus, I wanted to travel all over South America. And so I was able to do that.
So... Okay, I understand you want to learn Spanish, but to decide I'm going to major in this for the sole purpose of I want to learn this.
Yeah.
Why couldn't you just learn it? Why'd you have to major in it?
Because in order for me to go travel to South America to do a study abroad program, you had to major in the language. Yeah.
Okay, I see. Okay, so where in South America did you go?
I lived in Argentina, but I also
when you say lived, what are we talking about here?
I'm like almost a year.
On a study abroad?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Had a great time.
You went to Oakwood in name. You weren't at Oakwood.
That's true. That is true.
No, I was at Oakwood, but I did take a year where I traveled. Okay, I did take a year with my studies, so I was still representing Oakwood.
I know how that goes. Studies.
Yeah, studies. But yeah, I lived in Argentina, and then I would travel to Brazil and Peru.
Wow. Wow. And was this the first time in your life that you were doing like big traveling like that?
Oh yeah, it was the first time I was ever on a plane for that long.
Wow.
I think over like 15 hours. Wow. Yeah.
So you just decided, all right, I'm going out there.
I'm out. Doing it. I'm outside.
Wow.
Internationally.
Internationally. Clarification.
I have a question.
Yes.
So you grew up PK. You go to Oakwood. So, and then you were happy to get out, out the house, kind of like have fun college experience. So a lot of times from what, we hear, because I didn't go to Oakwood, but usually if you're in the house and you're kind of like ready and you're a PK at that and you're ready to get out the house, usually it's like we're about to go, we're getting out the house, And so I don't really know your full experience or whatever with college or whatever, but it seemed like you still had a level of focus and stuff like that. So what do you feel like, why was that your experience and not necessarily like, okay, I'm out the house. I was a PK. Like everyone had this expectation of me, like, oh, you're the pastor kid, better, all this type of stuff. So being able to kind of, if you chose to, shed it and go away, but still kind of seem like you had that focus. Like, why do you feel like that was your reality and not wanting to just kind of like go off?
I think it's because of the fact that I went to public school and I was exposed to a lot in public school.
So it wasn't your first rodeo?
It was not my first rodeo. I remember my freshman year, and you have like, so freshman year of college, you have the different type of students, right? Yeah. You have those that went to academy, and then those that went to just a regular private school. Then you could tell the public school kids, then you could tell the homeschool kids. So you could just tell that freshman year. And I just remember saying to myself one day at the CAF, I was like, y'all will not last just a moment on the school bus. So I was exposed to a lot, and not in a negative, traumatizing way, but yes, I grew up in a Christian home, and I'm grateful that my parents, they kept those Christian traditions. But from 7 to 2 every day, we were in the world. I'm just gonna be honest. We were outside, and so I didn't have those, Christian friends. I was the Christian friend. Literally. Like, I was the Christian one eating the vegetarian wham. The vegetarian wham. Jeez. And the vegetarian tofu, all of that.
You took that to school?
Vegetarian too?
I did. They did bully me for it a little bit. They did.
Oh, okay. You weren't
they did.
So let me ask you, even with that, were you ever the kid that, some of these Seventh-day Adventist traditions that you take to public school, like, were you ever the one that be like, trying to
Get away from that?
Hide it.
Yeah, switch it up once
switch
you
it
get there.
up, you know, like throw it away.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
I definitely would
okay.
try a couple chicken, because I grew up vegetarian, so I would definitely try a couple chicken nuggets. You know, growing up, you know, we really couldn't eat chocolate like that. I was definitely eating Snickers.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
like I just, you know, I did my thing.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but I would say I saw, you know, the teenage pregnancies. I saw the fights. I saw all of that, you know, from third grade up until
third grade.
Yeah, from third grade up until college. So I knew some of the stuff that a lot of sheltered sheltered PK kids go through. I was just like, this is not it. There's a whole new world out there. You know, I'm here to get my education. I'm going to enjoy it, and then I gotta go.
Yeah, like, this is a stepping stone.
This is, like my dad always says, I'm just passing through.
Just
passing through.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was very curious because I'm like, yeah, definitely that PK experience, and then having that. But you're right, public school, and that's something to think about because I know there's, of course, people on both sides. Like, you know, if they could keep their kids in private school, like their entire education, they would.
Yeah.
And people argue that they feel like kids aren't prepared for the world whenever you've had that experience your entire education, and then whenever you're out of it and you maybe hit either college, but depending on your environment with that, or the working world, like that's your first introduction to like, oh, this is real life, and it hits them hard. So there's some people that believe that, but then there's other people that like, I had that experience and that's what they felt like kept them, you know, like having to go to Bible class every day, or, you know, whatever. So there's definitely people on both sides, and I guess there's not one perfect, you know, fit, but that's really cool to hear. So you had the college experience. So going from the Spanish realm and the broadcasting realm, post college, what did that kind of look like after graduation?
So I actually spent 9 years investing in myself when it comes to education.
Okay.
So after Oakwood, I went to Andrews University. That's when I got my first master's in organizational management, and that started to open up my mindset to entrepreneurship.
Okay.
And then from there, I decided to move here, and I got my second master's in healthcare administration from Advent Health University. So I spent a good 9 years.
Is there an Advent school you didn't go to?
She didn't go to Southern.
I was about to say Southern,
California one.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but that is, I invested like 9 years into that.
Do you feel like it was worth it? I know that's a tough one.
It's like
everything happens for a reason.
It always works out.
You almost tried to get her. No, but it always
works out. So of course, I mean,
let me ask it this way.
Okay.
Would you do it the same way again?
No.
Okay.
No.
What would you do differently?
Honestly, I would go for my dreams sooner.
Which is what?
Singing, writing books, entrepreneurship. Gotcha, okay. I have nothing against education. Like I'm for it. I work as an educator, so I'm not going to sit here and say don't get a degree, don't get an education. But because I know what I'm meant to do in this world, I know my purpose. And see, for me, I was like Jonah. I was trying to run from it. Like I knew I was supposed to do what I'm supposed to be doing now, but I was trying to run from it. And so that's why I dragged myself through all those years and different things of that nature. I'm glad that I got the degrees, you know, because at the time I thought, well, maybe this is what I want to do. And then I realized, no, this is not it, you know. But if I could do it differently, I would definitely make some different choices.
Okay. You look like you have a question.
Go ahead.
And it's funny because this kind of came up this week, right?
Yeah.
So since you said the key word, I was like, we got to hit it now. So purpose.
Yes.
So you said that you knew your purpose and you were running from it. So that's interesting because I feel like we have a subset of people.
A big subset.
And a big subset. Yeah. I would almost dare to say a majority of people, it feels like, that don't know their purpose, or they're trying to figure it out, or 1 minute they think they know and then they're like, I don't think that was it. So what I kind of want to, maybe it's a 2-part, but I want you to try to address this first part first.
Okay, I got you.
So what do you say to people that they range from teens to even senior citizens that don't really know their purpose? What do you say to that? How do they figure out what their purpose is?
Well, the first thing I would say is, do you really want to know your purpose?
Oh.
Because once you know your purpose, then you can't unknow it. And then you gotta step up.
So do you want to know?
Do you want to know your purpose?
Boy.
See, I wanted to know my purpose. You know, I had gotten to the point where I was just like, okay, God, what is my purpose? Like, what is it?
You could tell me.
Yeah, you could tell me.
But then you said you're still being like Jonah.
Of course, because I didn't want to do it.
Well, this is once you knew it?
This was, so the way, I can only speak for me. So the way that God and I work, normally your purpose is something that comes easily and naturally to you in certain instance, your gifts. So for me, growing up, I came out of the womb singing. I've always been writing, and I've always been great with money. Like I always like making money.
Gotcha.
Okay, those are the 3 things. So if you translate that into now as adulthood, music, books, entrepreneurship.
Okay.
What I did is I would run from that, even though I knew that was my calling, even though I knew it was something in it. Now, I may not have known exactly it was going to be X, Y, and Z.
Like nitty-gritty details.
Exactly. Until I wanted to know exactly my purpose. So when I actually made that decision to say, okay, God, what is it? Then he revealed to me, okay, I want you to write books. And I got 7 of them that I need you to write.
He told you that?
Absolutely.
Now you gotta tell me more details about that, because when people be saying stuff like that,
He did.
how and what?
How are you so sure?
I need to know all about that. I need to know
Because
all about that.
I have a relationship with him. Like, he's real.
I believe that.
But I think a lot of people don't realize that, you know, just like how in a regular like romantic relationship, how you want to spend time with that person, how you know their voice, you know how they act, you start to learn their mannerisms, you start to say, okay, I already know, let me just leave you alone. I already know how you feeling.
Yeah.
It's the same way with God, except he knows us. So he's like, I need you to know me. You see what I'm saying? Because he already knows what we need, which is why he's always, okay, here you go. I'm blessing you here. I'm blessing you there. Like God knew. He knew for me, like he knew I needed to check my phone at the time I did today when I got off work, so that way I could be prepared.
Yeah.
You know, because I had 10 other things I was going to do before I started making my way here. If I would have done those things, we would have started late.
You would've just got here.
No, honestly, I'm not going to hold you. Exactly. So, but that's how I know, okay, thank you, God. You know me so well. But the reason why I'm able to now personally know him is because I spend that time with him. Okay. So, yeah, God wants you to know him personally, but that takes intentional time.
The I word.
And that's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
What does your version of being intentional spending time with God look like for you?
Set time in my schedule every day. Intentional. Now, I'm talking to him throughout the day. You know, I'm praying. I might even, Lord, I just need a moment. But there is an intentional time that I have set with God every day.
And you feel like trying to help some people out.
Oh,
right?
Yeah,
So
I'm here.
you feel like you've been intentional, and maybe he speaks every day, maybe not. But you feel like since you've been intentional with that time with God, anytime that you've needed answers, you needed him to show up, he has, because of that intentionality.
I would say it's just clearer now.
It's clearer,
Because
okay.
even when I was in my Jonah season running, he still was showing up. You see what I mean? When my there was a time when my main focus was just literally travel while you're young.
Gotcha.
That was it. That's why I was living in China. I was living in Brazil. I was in Argentina. I was traveling the world. I didn't have that intentional time with him.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I will say it has made life easier because now I'm able to hear him more. I'm able to discern him more. I'm able to discern certain situations.
Gotcha.
And that's what it is, because, he knows what's going to happen in this life. It's like wouldn't you want to know the game plan from the person that knows the game every day?
Yeah. And that's
Let's go there. Come on.
People, ideally, yes. But there's people that feel sometimes it's just like, yes, God, obviously I would want to know your plans for me. I would want to make sure I'm making the right steps. But for some people, it's just not that clear. Sometimes it's just like, okay, I thought I understood this. And it's like, So like when I drew attention to 7, and you're like, you're very confident that it's 7. And I'm just going to throw a hypothetical, or maybe you've had an example in the past.
Yeah.
Like, has there been any things where you've kind of like, okay, I was sure about God, you said this.
Yeah.
But then it was like a little bit different. Like, it worked out type of scenario, but it was different than you thought?
Absolutely. So I was getting my second master's in healthcare administration, but it was going to be an MBA. Okay. And I originally started at Andrews University because at the time I had finished the first master's, and my dean was just like, your grades are well, you can get a scholarship and stay here. And so this was around like 2019 or so. And I said, okay, well, I already had my apartment, I already knew my professors. Why not? And when I went and talked to my professor, mind you, and she was one of my favorite professors, I was just like, this is it. God, like, this is what you want me to do with my life. Like, I was just like so sure. And so I started on that journey. When I tell you those were some of the hardest classes I have ever had in my entire life, I mean, I'm leaving the class crying. Literally, I'm calling my mama like, Mom, I don't think I can do this. I remember, and this is my second master's, and I'm feeling like I'm a freshman in college. To the point, COVID happened. I ended up having an F in one of those classes. This is the first time I've ever had an F.
Yeah, that's a tough one. When it's the first F. Like,
the first F. And
this had to be a mistake.
It just had to be a mistake.
It's missing a line.
That's a good one.
No, that's really good. It was missing the line. But I was just like, wow, this is my first F. And this is my second master, like there were just so many things. I said, God, I thought I was supposed to do this. What in the world? And so I remember that night I went home crying, and I was in Atlanta. I was visiting one of my brothers and some friends of mine. And I just said, I woke up the next morning. I said, God, I'm about to be so real with you. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, what do you want me to do? Because it has worked out thus far, right?
Right.
I've always passed. This is the first time I've had an F, but God had to get my attention.
So that was his way of telling you, this is not what I want you to do.
This is not what I want you to do.
Okay.
So I end up going home, and I'm talking on the phone, and I get this, just this thought, Florida. Literally, Florida. And I always wanted to live in Florida. I've always wanted to live here. So then I just start looking up MBAs in healthcare administration in Florida. And I started looking up, okay, well, let's narrow it down. Where do you want to be in Florida? I said, okay, I like Disney,
Okay.
And then that's when I was brought to Advent Health.
And things just fell in line.
I had already, the deadline to apply for Advent Health had already passed.
Okay.
I was let in.
Wow. Okay. So that when you say that was God's will, it was stuff like that.
Yeah.
That gave you that kind of confirmation.
Yeah. So it worked out. But I mean, looking back on it now, I'm like, oh my goodness, like an F. But back then, that was a major
I'm sure
to my soul, So that's what I mean with, I still got the degree. I did. But it worked out better because I got the degree in a place where I wanted to live and stay even far after I was done with the schooling.
Gotcha.
That's a good way of definitely laying that out. And I think that's encouraging because especially when you're starting that transition of coming out of your initial Jonah season to like, okay, God, I'm gonna start listening. I think it can be difficult to kind of not know or feel like you're not confident in God's will for your life.
Yeah.
It's just like, all right, God, I do want to trust you, but I have some trust issues based off of past experience, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good example. And I think it's in those little moments. Like, I think sometimes when you're looking for purpose, you're expecting like some grand, like this is your purpose. And sometimes it's just those little fine details of even obedience. And I think one of the things you said was, yes, I think purpose can lean into your gifting, but I think even greater than that is in your obedience. And like, there's some people that want to know their purpose with limitations on God.
There you go.
And it's just like, you're like, I'm not comfortable with doing this, but that doesn't mean you're not good at it.
Exactly.
But it's just like, that's your own personal preferences. So you're like, oh, I'm asking God to do this in my way. And it's just like, how are you going to try to control God? So it's like, do you want this or not? And if you choose that you don't want it, then you're just choosing not God. And like, God does not do hot, or he doesn't do lukewarm, right?
Yep.
It's hot or cold. So you just got to be all the way. Yep. And I remember, the trip, right? So the cruise that we just came back on, we had the flat that happened with a tire on a 12-passenger van, not even crazy. A regular car, right?
Oh my gosh.
So thank God we had someone that works on these vehicles. We did call for help, but he was able to, we were able to work together to fix it before the person came. Yeah. So we had a decision to make. Uh-oh. So we have a tire that is flat, like it looks like it's slashed basically.
Yeah, tore up.
The spare tires for these vans are under the vehicle, right? So it's hard to get, but technically what's starting to go on my mind is like, what do we do with like a tire that's kind of slashed? Like that's what it looks like, but it's something in the road, right? So, and I start to Google, I was like, do you get charged for this? Like when I bring back the rental car, are they going to try to charge us for this? We don't have insurance on this type of stuff. And so it wasn't looking promising, right? So then of course the thoughts start coming in my mind like, well, you can just
know.
Put it back. Like they won't know. Technically they won't know. And the tire that we put on didn't really look like a spare. And I think for that type of vehicle, it probably can't be that thin donut looking type of spare, right?
Right.
So driving back to the airport, and I get to the airport car rental spot, and it's just like, you gotta tell them. It's like, why? Like, why? Like, I don't want to pay this extra money. Like, why do I? Like, it's under there. They won't know. Like, especially the way they check these cars, they will not know. But then I started thinking, like, you were blessed enough to have been able to, wish the tire didn't pop or get slashed, but thankfully there was a tire that you can continue on your way. What if this happens to another person?
Exactly.
Like, all right, fine. So I go to the counter, and I tell him, he's like, wow, I'm very sorry that was your experience. Hey, here's some money back for your inconvenience. Right. And I'm just like, in that moment, I'm just like, wow, guy. Like, that's just so crazy. And that's what I'm talking about with like simple obedience. It's like those little things where God like shows up, but you actually have to be willing to like go against yourself, your impulses, all that type of stuff, and like really, really trust him like that.
And thank God he rewards. I feel like if we were to look at our life, really, we would see the little things like that God is doing, because faith is a big thing.
It is.
And he does ask us to do some difficult things, but he's usually dropping breadcrumbs along the way. He's not like, all right, and Andre, you've reached it to the edge of the cliff, now jump. Like, no, he's been doing like smaller things along the way, so that when you get to the edge of the cliff and he does tell you to jump, you're like, oh, well, I did that and that and that, and it all worked out. You know what, I can jump.
Yeah. And he always blesses your obedience.
He does.
Thank God he does.
Because faith, it's a choice. It's not a feeling.
Yeah.
It's a choice.
It's a choice.
It's a very intentional choice.
It's very intentional. And, the Bible even talks about, pleasing God is through your faith. It really is that. It's just something powerful. That's how you please God. It's through your faith. And by your faith, then you will start to have that obedience. You know what I mean? Which means that now you are being obedient to his will. Because your faith will always, the trials and tribulations and the faith test that God has for you is always going to be in direct alignment with his will.
Okay. I see that. I can see it.
That's the alignment. Did you see it?
It's right there. It's right there.
It's right there.
It's funny. Your mom had something here. I was like, oh, we have something in common, Faithful.
My mom said that?
No.
Oh.
I'm just saying she put a comment here. I was like, oh. She said you had a candy hustle.
I did.
And I was like, well,
That is shame.
and that's how I got my start, my humble
Really?
entrepreneur beginnings. It's just like
Yeah.
those little hustles. And it's just like, you got to find what the people want and need. You know, now sometimes they didn't need candy. But
Yeah, they
wanted
did.
it.
We
Shane's
need
gonna
to
make 'em
get
think
through.
we need
We needed
You know,
candy in 6th
it's
or
like-
7th grade, Shane. We needed some candy. But I know what you mean.
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
yeah.
I definitely know what you mean. Yes. So,
You having all the flashbacks.
Mom, you're
right
funny.
now.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of flashbacks right now. So they had this fundraiser where, and I don't know, maybe you all experienced it, where you have like all this chocolate
Oh yeah.
and you carry around this box.
I like the crisp
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that. So
know
I
exactly
did
what
that. And then I just didn't like how much they were keeping. And so what I did is I said, I said to self, these kids, they only get from this box, let's say maybe the same 6 or 7 items.
I don't even know if it was that much. I think it was like 4.
Yeah, what I can do is I can go to the candy store down the street and not only provide candy, but chips
Variety.
and cookies
Walmart
and
before they were a
juice.
Walmart.
And
About the corner store.
yeah, I said
right.
I
To
can
the
bring the
school.
corner store to them, and that's what I did. And I was making moolah. I was making moolah. I was
These
selling.
poor kids draining their quarters.
They,
She provided a service. It was
thank you.
convenient.
I was
They would've
providing a
had- They would have to wait
service.
till after school to go to the corner store.
Exactly.
I got you. Don't
They could
worry
get hot
about it.
fries right there by the eating in
there.
Mr. Johnson's room.
Wow.
So but yeah, that's where I really started to then serve people when it comes to entrepreneurship. That's
Look
when
for
I
like
started.
a need. And
Yeah.
then fulfill it.
So that's a good transition. So kind of tell
Yep.
us a couple of those entrepreneurial. There we go.
It's okay. That's the-
Things that you have done and that you are doing.
Oh wow! So I've done a lot. I would say that's what I did. Like growing up. When I got to Oak Ridge University, I started doing hair.
Okay.
Man, I've done a lot. Wow, I like this question. Okay,
It's
let's
a
think.
lucrative one, man.
Yeah, I started doing hair.
money.
So I would have the ladies come in. They would have to have their hair braided, and I would do crochet,
Okay.
and I would charge like $60.
That's-
Okay. Yep.
How long
Isn't
would
that
this
cheap?
take you on average?
Well, remember, this is like 2013, 2014. So it
But
was.
don't that take a long time? $60?
No. No, it didn't take too long. It didn't take too long.
Maybe I'm tripping.
Yeah, it's a skill. It's a skill set. It's a skill. So I started doing that when I lived in Argentina. One thing I've learned from traveling the world, especially in those areas, is that they love American brand stuff, and they just like what Americans wear.
Okay.
So I had acquired so much stuff in Argentina that I sold, like thrifting. We had like a whole yard sale, made over $100 US just by doing that. I had I would work out when I went to Andrews. I had a workout. Not a class, but like one-on-one private workout sessions with other entrepreneurs and other business women.
Okay.
So I had that. I had a guide. And then when I came to Florida, that's when I really said, okay, let me step it up because I'm doing a little stuff here and there. And so that's when I started having my own Airbnb.
Okay.
And that's where I really started to understand entrepreneurship, working with a team, having a team of people, being the boss. I started to actually learn what it means to serve people versus just trying to get all the money and enjoy yourself traveling. So that's what that's what I did. Now, as far as entrepreneurship, I sing. So I'm traveling, singing, praise and worship. I do public speaking as well.
Told you.
I'm like, I ain't doing none of this.
Yeah, I do public speaking as well, and also my books as well. They're doing great. Got a couple more coming out. So I am really big on having multiple streams of income.
Okay.
Yeah, multiple streams. But those are just a couple of businesses I've done in my life.
You've done quite a bit.
I have.
She's been everywhere.
Yeah, she's
Just
been.
like thinking back, like, man.
So it's funny. I was talking to Andre, I think yesterday, maybe 2 days ago, and I was saying, the first time I was introduced to you, it was through singing.
Yeah.
And then looking at your, I think probably Instagram, it still has like something to do with singing or music attached to it.
Yeah.
And then I was also telling him, I'm pretty sure she public speaks.
Yeah.
However, he either didn't remember or that wasn't the emphasis of the conversation you guys had at first. It seemed like it was more, he knew the Airbnb, he knew the books and stuff like that. So I was like, I wonder if she's pivoted, because I'm like, what I've noticed, not just from you, but from other people, for example, that sing, is just like, they sometimes go through seasons when it comes to like singing. I'm like, wow, you have a gift in your back pocket and you don't want to use it. Like well, that's what it seems like from the outside, right?
Yeah.
And so what I said to him, I would ask you, like, why does it just from outsider don't really like, why do you seem like you've pivoted more towards like the books and then maybe less from like the singing and I don't know, public speaking, maybe you still do that. But.
So it's not that I've put it in my back pocket. I'm still singing. But when I decided, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago, that I was going to start charging as far as, doing praise and worship. That's when the shift switched. So before you've experienced, I was outside singing, but it was for, free. And I'm not ashamed of that. I'm not, upset. I'm thankful. But a lot of people don't realize that when it comes to artists, we have our regular jobs, our regular lives. And then in order for us to have that anointing, and in order for us to be able to lead people through worship, we have to literally sacrifice ourselves daily, fasting, praying, spending time with the Father. See, a lot of people don't realize that. They just want us to hit the note, and get up there and sing, but they don't see the time that you put in. And so now it's not so much that I've stopped singing or anything. No, I'm actually working with music producers. I'm working with people, but I'm working from a place of, now I'm putting, value on my time, because I know that if you want me at your church, I know what God is going to do through me. I already know what's about to happen. And so that's the difference when it comes to, because I have been singing, for years, praise and worship. But when I noticed that, and this is just something that just as an artist and then as a businesswoman, I've noticed in this community that when we start to then charge for our time, then they want to go to the next person that's not charging. Yeah,
it could be a whole conversation.
It really can, and I could come back.
I get it. Okay. So that makes a more sense.
Yeah,
I was very curious. Okay.
Yeah, because think about it. It takes gas money, right? This is my instrument. So I invest in my instrument. You see what I mean? So then that means that vocal coaching, all of that. That's money. That's finances. And so, a lot of people think, oh, well, it's just 3 or 4 praise and worship songs. No, I'm investing in this instrument because you want a great, youth day or praise and worship day or, sound of the trumpets type of situation, and so that's why I haven't so much scaled back, but, God has shown me until we're in those spaces where, people do put value on artists and they have the finances to pay them what they're worth, let's use these other gifts of writing and different things of that nature to help you.
Yeah, that's gonna have to be its own.
So much
I have
over there.
so many questions, but I was like, oh, that's a whole separate topic. But that's a very different type of perspective that I think that a lot of people that will literally divide a congregations, churches,
That's okay.
whatever, So I think it's very interesting, and I think that could be its own thing. But I was like, okay, that's not actually where the show is today. So we will have to bring you back. But that was really good. So Airbnb. So you're not doing the Airbnb anymore?
No.
No reason why? You just like it ended?
It just did not work out for me the way that I wanted it to work out.
Now you're gonna have to.
If that makes sense. Okay.
More.
But and just to clarify,
Yeah.
because the theme of today is it didn't work out the way you wanted to work out. So that means it also was a God thing.
Yeah, it was a God thing. So the Airbnb, it was something just for me to get my feet wet into entrepreneurship. You know what I mean?
That's a big one for the
yeah.
people.
As far as okay, now we're taking this to the next level. Remember, there's always levels in this. So before I was doing, Zelle, Cash App me here, and there. But this was okay. Now I'm working with a company.
Yeah.
I have cleaners. I have virtual assistants. I'm actually having people in my Airbnb. So what it did is it leveled me up in the sense of, okay, now this is how I want you to serve people in that realm. Okay. But as far as I knew I wasn't going to do on Airbnb for a long time, but I realized that I needed to pivot.
Okay.
I needed to pivot. Yeah.
Now, so what was your experience like actually starting a business? Because like you said, that was a level up, and that was a pretty big step. That was like a really big venture. And I know a lot of people would think to do these type of entrepreneurial pursuits, but they don't know how to get started. It seems like too big for them to actually start moving. So what were the things that you do, or what advice would you give someone that's in that very beginning stage, that contemplation stage?
That's a good question.
I'm torn between the two, because there's a part of me that is remembering the younger me that just said, just go for it. Like, don't worry about trying to work out the finances and everything of that nature. But now that I've gone through some things and I have the wisdom, there's another part of me that says, hold on. So what I would say is, one, get a mentor.
Okay.
That is doing exactly what you want to do in entrepreneurship, and tether yourself to that person.
Got you. Okay.
And then from that, everything, hopefully will start to expose itself.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because then, there's a lot of mistakes that they would be able to save you from making.
To pinpoint, exactly.
Okay. Is that what you did?
It is.
Okay. So you found a mentor that was doing Airbnb, and you were able to get a lot of that knowledge to be able to start.
Yes, I found a mentor that definitely is helping me in different areas of my life when it comes to finances.
Okay.
And so now I'm able to, pour into my music. I'm able to pour into my books. I'm able to pour into other different entrepreneurship things that I have, coming up.
Okay. How did you find your mentor?
They found me.
They found you. Okay. It's a God thing.
It was a God thing. It was a God thing. Yeah, I'm very grateful for it.
So I heard that you also do financial stuff. Okay, so tell us a little bit about that piece.
So as far as financial, I'm not doing no investment or anything.
Okay.
My mentors are the ones that really do it. We work together and we help people become financially independent and debt free. Growing up, I experienced what it was like to live in a house where finances could be
Little tight.
very tight, and not having
Faith always had money.
Of course. I actually used that money to help pay, for some of the bills growing
that's
up.
what's up.
Yeah. So, and I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
And so, so because of that, I just have this belief that, we're the head and not the tail. We're above and not beneath, and that we're not meant to be in poverty. We're not meant to struggle. And so that's what I'm still learning. I'm still learning from my personal mentors. These are personal friends of mine, but it is something that the principles that I've been learning, I've been able to apply when it comes to just, doing music, when it comes to writing, when it comes to public speaking, and even helping other entrepreneurs in their own different arenas that they want to do, whether it's, let's say someone wants to do nails, someone wants to do hair. Let's say someone wants to start investing in property. Just those different things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think I lost what I was gonna say. Oh, about your belief about being like the head and not the tail. I was watching this podcast, I think with Mel Robbins, and she had like someone there that does like financial advising and stuff. And one thing she said that stuck with me, it was actually one of the first things. When Mel Robbins was like, asking her for tips and, she was giving her advice and stuff. She was, one of the first things she said is people need to change the way they think. She was like, you need to believe that you belong. She was like, you need to believe that you
deserve a seat at the table,
and you deserve to be rich.
Yeah.
In certain terms, right?
Yeah.
She was like, especially she was a black woman as well. She was like, especially as a black woman, she would be in certain circles and she would feel like, man, like, everyone here seems like they're more qualified or like they belong here. And the truth is they just acted that way. But she, in fact, was the one that was more educated, more qualified. And she was like, when she would see their work and stuff, she's like, wow, they actually don't belong here. You could make a very clear argument. And so she had to change her mind that I deserve to be at this table. I deserve to be able to support myself, to make money, and it's from that belief that can now power her actions forward. But if a lot of us, we don't have the mindset for that.
Oh yeah.
And so then it's hard to act when you don't even have that belief in yourself to get there, So definitely a very important but often missed step is that first, like, you need to believe that. You have to.
And just to add to what you said, I think that also goes into your relationship with God, because just like you lack confidence from that aspect, a lot of Christians just lack confidence in who they are in Christ too.
Exactly.
So it's like you can't arrive in the world a certain way and you are not even walking out in your faith a certain way because you believe none of it. It's just like so like it's very important on both sides.
And the beautiful thing is that it comes back to what you were saying before. You have to spend time with him, because the truth of the matter is he's told you all these things. It's all in there, like the promises that he said. It's all there, but you have to spend time to actually read those things and believe it.
Because so a man thinketh, so it becometh. So you have to think it. You have to. It really does start in the mind. And God would give you experiences to help you. But it really does start with just saying those things. Okay, I deserve to not have less than, let's say, $50 in my bank account after my bills. It's those little things. I deserve to, have my nervous system regulated and be calm and collected if I decide to go get my hair done or buy these shoes. It's just those little things, because a lot of times we tell ourselves we can't afford this or we can't afford that. And then if you're surrounding yourself around people, think about it, if you surround yourself around people who always say they can't afford X, Y, and Z, guess what? You're not going to be able to afford it. That's why the top 5 people, you show me your top 5 people, I can tell you what your tax bracket is going to be.
Ooh, okay.
That's real. That's so real. And so it's being around people who are, who think like that. Now, what happens is a lot of times you may not see what you're asking God for right then and there, or you want it to happen quickly. And what it is God is just like, no, I want to make sure that you have the mindset to hold it. I want to make sure that you have the discipline to steward it. I want to make sure that you have the finances to be able to invest more into it. And so what happens is you start thinking, well, God, I've been asking you for this. I've been asking you for that. And I'm over here, preaching this gospel of financialness and you're a God who is financially equipped as well, but I'm not seeing it. And what you don't realize is that it's happening in your mind. And once your mind is set on it, then everything will come.
Once your mind is set on it, everything will come. Did you have something connected to that? So
y'all got some water?
Is there some water behind her? I have to check. So what would you say is a challenge of being a Christian and a business person?
Loving the people.
Loving the people?
Loving the people you're serving.
Oh. Why? Do you have to be?
Love, yes, you have to love thy neighbor as thyself.
But
go ahead. I mean, let's go there with your fella.
What if my business doesn't, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a business where I'm like, I don't need to love these people. All right. For example, I thought recently, I was like, man, I should open a gym because I was trying to start going to the gym by my house, and I realized there was none. There was only a 24-hour fitness, and they charge exuberant, ridiculous rates that you pay twice a month, and you are locked in for a year. That's crazy to me. And there was literally no other gym. I was like, well, if I open any gym, I'm like, this would be like 100% success rate because no one's going to want to go to Planet Fitness. Not Planet Fitness, sorry, 24-hour fitness or Anytime Fitness, whatever the heck it is. But in that business, I don't need to love the people. I'm just providing them workout equipment and they get to work out. Why do I got to love them?
So what is love?
We getting real philosophical. What is love? I can't answer that.
What does the word say?
Love is God.
Yes, but there's a specific part in the word that talks about and explains what love is. Love is patient.
Love is kind. It's not boast. It is all those things.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's what I mean. It's being patient with your people. It's being kind to your people.
Okay.
It's not being envious of your people. It's being long suffering. That's what I would say. Now, it doesn't say in there don't have boundaries.
Okay.
Okay. It doesn't say in there, let people walk all over you. No. Mm-hmm. But there is a way that you can articulate your boundaries and still do it from a form of love.
And so how does that translate in business?
One, I believe it starts with yourself because as an entrepreneur, we like to see it happen fast. Now, let's go. Push it. And so you have to first be patient with yourself. You have to first be kind with yourself. You have to, if you see someone else's business that's thriving, okay, you cannot allow that spirit of envious to come, or let's say you are, God is starting to bless you. That boastfulness, I did X, Y, and Z. It's learning how to manage that first with self. And then as you continue to meet other entrepreneurs on the way, or even the people that you're servicing, then they will, you will have to now start to love on them. You will have to start to show that to them.
And what I've realized about entrepreneurship is you can't really separate yourself from the business in the sense of you're the brand, right? Yep. And so whenever a person sees Faithful and then they see her business, because of their interactions with Faithful, they should be confident in her business.
Yes.
Okay. That's the thing you have that's different with entrepreneurship than other type of things. Like when you're just working at a company, that's something different.
Yeah.
I know that okay, for example, you have a problem with like a restaurant and you're a server or whatever. Yeah, you might have a problem with like the server, but if you have a problem with the food, it's not like you're looking at the server so much. You're looking at the establishment, stuff like that. And so it's just like if you go to Cheesecake Factory, like, can I see Mr. Cheesecake? But it's just like you really don't know unless you know the person associated. So I think with entrepreneurship, that's the difference, is like that's attached to you. And so if they see Faithful as this loving person, then they're like, oh, I could trust Faithful's business because it should correlate. But if Faithful's a nasty person and then trying to get business from you,
I'm not.
It's just like, we not doing that. No matter what you have to offer, right?
And that's something that has to be learned. You have to learn, and that's what I mean by loving the people and not jeopardizing relationships, and learning how to apologize, learning how to, say sorry, even if you personally feel, thank you, y'all are just some great gentlemen, thank you. Even if you personally feel like you were right, but sometimes, because there are many times I felt like I was right.
Yeah, that one.
Many times I knew I was right.
Yeah,
but I still apologize, and it has to be from a place of sincerity. Like you have to be sincere. But there is value in the people that you're servicing, whoever they are, your clientele, customers, partners, whatever it is, they are valuable. And so when you show them that you're valuable, that they are valuable to you, they will love on you. But in order to do that, you first have to show that you yourself are valuable.
Yeah, you have to provide value. So let me ask you this. So we have these books in front of us. So kind of tell us the best 30 days of faith. And so this was actually one I bought as well.
You bought my book?
Yeah, when you were at Mount Sinai, I think.
Thank
was it
you.
2 years ago?
Yes.
Oh no, last year.
I know you said you put it in your cart, but I didn't know you actually bought it.
I bought it.
Thank you.
I bought it. I was like, I'm trying to support. So I bought the book. So give us like a highlight of what's in the book and why you wrote that specific book.
So I wrote that book when I came back from Argentina, actually, because when I was living in Argentina, that was when I started to really develop my relationship with God, because you have to think about it. I was X amount of hours away. Mom and dad, they just couldn't just hop on a plane and come visit me, or vice versa. So I really had to depend on God. And I was learning a new language. So there was a lot of foreignness, like everything just there. And so when I came back from Argentina, I realized I saw a need. I love devotional books. I used to always do devotional books, but they were always the 365 for the woman. And I said, yes, even though I'm 21, I can't relate to, husband sick in the bed and I prayed to God and he made it well. I couldn't relate to that. I'm still trying to go travel. I'm still trying to figure out if I even want to do this for the rest of my life. So this book, it talks about, and it helps. What it is, it helps young women specifically who are in college, who are thinking about going to college, normally from high school up, to how to start just to develop a relationship with God, how to get in the habit. Because if you do something for 30 days, you create a habit. And so this right here helps you to create that habit of faith.
Gotcha.
And so in it has my personal experiences of what I went through, so you hear my 19, 20, 21-year-old voice. Okay. But it also has practical things that the young women can do, just questions that are posed, how does a relationship with God look like as I am right now? Different things of that nature, where they can start writing, and what God will do. Because a lot of girls have talked about it, is that he will meet you right there. Yeah. And you don't even realize that you are developing the best 30 days of faith, but it's personal to you.
I like that.
Okay. I like that. And when you said that, I was like, well, God, let me not be a liar here, and let me make sure I bought this book. I was like, I looked at my Kindle, I'm like, nope, it is right here. So I was like, no, I put my money where my mouth was. So I was like, I knew it was really for women, but I was like, I still wanted to support. I was like, nah, I made sure it's right here. It's right here.
I appreciate
But no, that's
you.
really, really cool that you saw. And that's the entrepreneur in you.
Yeah.
You saw a need where it's
yeah.
just like, instead of just saying like, okay, there's all these books, I don't get anything from it. Oh, well. And, you just kind of navigate your life yourself. You found a way to like not only figure it out for yourself, but find a way to be impactful to the world. And so that's important. So then I see here you have For Her and do they both say the same thing, just different color covers? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it says a daily faith journal. So what's that about?
So I love writing. I started my writing journey just by a notebook.
Okay.
And so that's literally what it is. It is a notebook. Now it's paired with the best 30 days of faith.
Okay.
So for those that want to, tag along, they have some extra writing that they can do. Or if you just like to just jot down notes. I'm always going through a journal almost every 3-4 months. So that's what those journals are.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so you paired it together. Writing is good.
Yeah.
I will say I bought a journal a couple years ago. I'm a person that needs prompts though. I'm not gonna just always like sit there, especially as I'm trying to do a new habit. But as I got the prompts and had to really start thinking, I'm like, oh, there's definitely a benefit to just being able to write down your thoughts. That
Yes.
kinesthetic aspect for some reason connects a little bit more than just thinking about something. So then if you're reading and writing, I could definitely see how new habits are forming. And the fact that you can have a habit of faith is even crazy.
Yeah.
Because like you try to get habits of like, I'm going to stop doing this or I'm going to start doing this. And I'm going to say top 15 even for Christian faith ain't up there. But it probably should be higher on the list. So
it should.
that's actually really, really cool that you did that. So we're going to drop these links in the chat. Make sure that you are supporting Faithful for sure. And then we're definitely like going to get the books for our team of girls as well. So we're going to make sure that we do our part to support your ministry as well. So I know time is kind of like going down. So I'm kind of like, do you have I know I have a question and you might have a question as well.
Yeah, I got a question.
So what do you feel like, I hope we don't go over the same question. What season?
That is hilarious. That is hilarious.
Okay, this is our question. That's
okay, perfect timing.
Because then you could do the wrap-up question then. All right. So what season of your life tested you the most? Why and how did you get through it?
Cry up here. I'm gonna need some tissues. Oh, there we go.
They're right. We had the tissues.
Y'all ready? I went through a Job season.
Ooh. Oh, Lord.
Okay.
Wow.
How much time we got? I can wrap it up.
No. I want to hear this.
Okay.
I feel like it's going to help people.
So the question was, what season in my life?
What season of your life tested you the most? Why and how did you get through it?
So yes, I went through a Job season. When I finished my second master's in organizational management, I did not get the job that I thought I was going to get. And so the bills were paid and I had just opened up my Airbnb. So I was banking on the full-time employment to help me sustain that and then work my way up and then get another one. Like that was my whole thought process. But God said no. So now I have 2 rents that are due.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I used all of the savings. I had like over $4,000. I put all of that into the Airbnb. And I was, borrowing from Peter to pay Paul, mom and dad, like calling friends just for $100 just to make these rents. And I remember talking to a friend and I remember just saying to her, because I kept just coming to the book of Job. And I remember saying to her, I'm going through my Job season. Because mind you, at this time I had a beautiful, and this is what I mean by God answers your dreams. Like he actually does it. I was living in my dream apartment. Like I remember speaking it, believing it, visualizing it when I was a young girl.
Yeah.
So now 10 years later, I am in that dream apartment. And I'm the firstborn, so nobody in the family has done this yet out of my sisters. So now they see the standard. This is what we do. I had my dream first, like, real car. Like, I was able to buy it off the lot, brand new. So I had all these dreams, that will come into fruition that God allowed me to, experience. I'm grateful for. And then as I started to enter into my entrepreneurship journey, and now I have this business, now I need to get a job. All these things started coming at me. It's like everything started to be stripped away from me. And so I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I was basically on the verge of being homeless.
Wow.
Yes. I remember as clear as day, one day God said, I kid you not. He said, I need you to sell everything that you have and give it to the poor.
You're lying.
I kid you not. I'm telling y'all. I know it sounds cliche,
Not the rich young
but
ruler.
literally. But I listen. Okay, I listen. And I remember I was laying in my bed. Mind you, I had like this big, literally a flat screen TV, just like that one back there, just chilling, living nice and large. And God said, "Yeah, I need you to get up because you're about to move."
Jeez.
I said, "God, where am I going?" He said, "Don't worry about that. I need you to sell all you have and give it to the poor." And that's exactly what I did. I sold my TVs and I gave almost everything away to homeless shelters. And so here I am. And the reason why I did is just the backstory. Those 2 rents that I had from the Airbnb and my personal were piling up. So I could not afford it. So I was behind on rent to the point where, God gave me favor with the manager.
Yeah.
But they had to say, they were like, hey,
at some point we
exactly,
need our money.
you got to go.
Yeah.
And so they had an eviction notice.
Wow.
I didn't have a job yet, mind you. And that's how I had to, let my Airbnb go. Because I had to, it was literally either move home, because my dad came down. It was either move back home to Maryland and figure it out, or go into the teaching realm and move to the land and, live way below your means and have a whole different type of car. Like, literally, like, I went through my entire Job season. And that was very trying for me, because I went through a season where I was used to getting my nails done and my hair done anytime I wanted to. I mean, just going out to eat just by myself alone was $40 to $50, like, easily. I was traveling the world by myself, or meeting up with friends easily. So to go from that lifestyle, and everyone came over my house. Everybody came over Faithful's house. You want to come up? Come on. You don't got to worry about nothing. I'll cook. Just come on over. So I went from that lifestyle to sleeping on the floor. Couldn't even afford an air mattress.
Wow.
Couldn't even afford a $15, $20 air mattress. Working at Longhorn just to make some easy money, just to have gas in my car. Doing different praise teams. That's why I started charging. Doing different praise teams, traveling to different churches for free with no gas in my car.
Wow. And
literally lights shutting off. Like, I kid you not. And God said, I need you to sell everything you have and give it to the poor.
I don't got much left.
I was just like,
and you don't question that, like, well, not now. I'm just saying, in the moment, it's just like, all right, God, I have, like, my lights are being shut off on the floor, don't have gas, and you're saying I still have too much. Like, so that in that moment, there wasn't like question marks of just like, no, this can't be God. Like, this gotta be.
It was question marks. Look, I'm a sneakerhead at heart. I know I got my heels on, but I'm from the DMV. I'm a sneakerhead. I had all these Jordans. God said, yeah, give them away. I said, only kept 2. I said, I'm going to keep 2.
This is my negotiation.
This is my look. It's a compromise, you know? So I'm literally giving these Jordans that I've spent $200 on, $100 on, just investing in my sneaker game, you know?
Wow.
Giving them to the poor. God was like, yeah, you're going to get it back. Okay, but when? Don't worry about it. Literally. Selling my mattress, brand new mattress. Selling my headboard. yeah, now you're going to sleep on the floor.
And he doesn't give you a reason.
No.
I'll be like, God, I'm sleeping on the floor. I can't keep a mattress.
Mm-hmm. No, God is merciful and gracious, and that's why he sent me my father. Because, I am daddy's little girl. And so my dad, I remember one day I sent him a picture and I was literally sitting on the floor eating a TV dinner because that's all I could afford. I get a phone call from my mama. Yeah, your dad's coming down there tomorrow. Pick him up at the airport at 9 a.m. So God sent me help and I was able to transition into a better environment. But the thing was, to be honest with you, the reason why that was so hard is because one, I was living way above my means, and two, I did not know how to steward the things that God had given me. So when it comes to people, you asked this question earlier, how do you, when you're asking God about your dreams and stuff like that, what to say to people, my thing is, ask God to, allow you to experience your dreams, but also give you the characteristics, the financial provision and means to help steward and grow that dream to a vision.
Okay.
Wow.
I did. Hold on. I had a question. That's what it was. So you went through a Job season, right? In Job's, season, he had onlookers, people that were very confused as to what the heck is going on with this guy. Did you find you had that same experience where people like questioning your choice? Because I'm not gonna lie, if me and you were friends, and I'm like, I knew Faithful as this, well-to-do person, all of a sudden, okay, like she's going through hardship, but then I'm like, oh, she's just going crazy now. Like she ain't got, why is she giving away? Girl, sell
That's
it.
a very good
What
question.
are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, you need the money.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Yeah, I did. My entire friend group, I love them, but we're not close like that anymore. Yeah. And that's why I am grateful for, my parents that did stick by me through it. And I know it was hard for them because
I'm sure you're, like you said, daddy's little girl, and they're like,
yeah. Why
no
you
parent
living like
wants that
this
for their kid? Yeah,
exactly. You have two masters. Like I've heard it all. You have two masters. You're supposed to be this. You could come to. I've heard it all from all sources. But I will say this: that in that moment, that was where my relationship with God, it was still fresh because I had rededicated my life to God. I want to say maybe a little less than a year before all that happened. So I was in that baby stage of, God, I will do anything. Yes to your will. Yes to your way. I'll go where you want me to go. I'll say what you want me to say. I'm still like that now, but I just remember my mindset then. But yeah, I had people that were coming in, my friends, they would come in, buy my TV. They would come in and take this and that.
That's actually crazy.
Little did I know they wanted that TV the entire time.
Yeah,
you know?
But like, for this type of deal,
yeah, no, yeah, I gave them a deal, but I didn't really care because I had removed the attachment to the material things. I was so focused on my purpose. I was so focused on my soul. Like, what is it for a man to profit the world, to gain the world and lose his soul? So I was just focused on God. I just want to be in your will. What is it that you want me to do? And he literally said, I need you to sell all you have and give it to the poor.
Yeah, see, people say stuff like that, and that's why I get scared to ask God what he wants from me, because I'm like,
yeah, it goes back to, do you want to know your purpose?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that makes sense.
This is a lifestyle. I'm smiling, laughing about it now, but no, it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle, and I understand why the prophets back in the day, the apostles, why they went through what they went through, why they were secluded, why they would go to the mountains and then come back. Like, I feel like the land's 2 hours away from me. I'm like, God, am I in the wilderness up there? So I understand, but when you know your purpose and when you know your assignment, you look at it from a different perspective. So it wasn't so much, oh my goodness, my TVs, my shoes, my bed. It was, all right, God, you're going to, and the thing about Job is that God blessed him 10 times more.
Right.
So I had something that I was already rejoicing and praising and thanking God for, even when I was letting it go. Because I said, all right, God, they could have this.
Down payment.
Yeah, but you're going to bless me 10 times more.
I see.
That's just a hard position to be in when you're going through it. That's the hard part, because I think that's the beauty of Job's story. And, you know, I still question it even now that I read it again recently. And I'm like, you know, it's one thing to get things restored to you, but like in Job's case, losing family, like how do you replace that, you know? And so there's certain ways where it's just like, God, like I get things like TV, Jordan and stuff like that. But then you think about people, you can think about those former friends.
Yeah, relationships.
But compared to what you have now too. And so like there's even that way. And it's just like going through it is rough. Like trying to keep hope alive and be like, you know, just sold my TV.
Yeah.
Just saw a roach grow by.
We didn't have no roaches now.
I'm just painting a picture.
Yeah,
like,
no roaches.
like no roaches. But it's crazy. So it makes me think about what it takes to truly be a follower of God. Like, you know, it's like, are you really ready for it? You know, it's one thing that you can be kind of convinced that there is a God, and you can be convinced that the Bible is true. It's just like, okay, it makes sense. Science makes sense. But then when it comes to the nitty gritty of like, okay, now let's take your relationship with God from that baby formula to like, now you have to do the real meat of like, okay, now I need you to have faith. Now I need you to have obedience. I need you to be willing that no matter what I tell you, you're going to follow. And it's just like, can you really have a relationship with God without that? And the answer is obviously no. So if you want to be truly like locked in with God, you have to begin to ask yourself those questions of like, all right, God, I got the fundamentals. I've been in this stage long enough. It's time to take it to the next level. And like, those are the people I would assume that are going to be with him at the end. Like, that's how you get shaken out. Yeah, it's just like, are we having a surface level relationship here, or are we going to have like a real thing, you know?
Yeah.
So I guess it had to happen, but like coming on the other side of it and seeing the fruits of it definitely has to be satisfying too.
Yes, but the memories are there. And I think that's the only thing I would say with this walk with God, is that the memories and feelings are there. You know, because yes, I did lose a lot of friendships. I've had people even say, you know, Faithful, I haven't spoken to you in X amount of years. I don't want nothing to do with you. And they don't even know why I had to distance myself. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then you can't even really tell them why, because then it goes into something like this, and you know, they're not even there. But I don't focus on what I lost. I focus on what I have. And at the end of the day, I have a relationship with God where if he tells me right now, I need you to go do this and that, I'm going to go do it. And that is so much more important to me and so much more valuable to me than a human relationship. Because with God, all things are possible. Yeah. And I trust him more than I trust, you know, humankind. Just truthfully being told. And so when I have interactions with other people, I have that security in knowing God wants me here. God did this. And that is a peace of mind and a level mindset to where that's how you become unstoppable. That's how you're able to fight those battles day in and day out. You know, because we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spirits and principalities. And we won't go into it. We won't go all into it. But it's just something where, you know, having that relationship. And I look at it as I wanted to know the Creator. Who created me? Who created this world? And so God says, well, you get to, in this life, you get to know me. And then when I come back, you get to actually physically see me.
That's nice.
Honestly, that's the wrap up.
I was
That's
like,
the wrap
yeah,
up.
you did
That's
it.
right
You did
there.
it even without the question. So that's talent.
I give that to the Lord.
That's good. I think we saved that good question. I mean, the fact that we were gonna land on the same question
Yeah.
is funny, but to hear the answer that was produced, I'm like, oh, that was meant to be the last.
It always
So
works out.
thank you for being willing to one drive. She's like, she ain't got no gas problems no more. Like, this is good. This is good.
Yep.
So
Thank you, Lord.
thank you for taking the time, being here, sharing parts of you with people that don't even know you. You know, that's a lot of people that's reserved for their closest friends and stuff like that. So being willing to do that, appreciate your testimony. You see the books, we put the links in the comments as well. So again, the best 30 days of faith devotional book, and get the the journal with it as well. Make sure you're a reader and also a writer. You never know where that's going to lead for you as well. You know, never know. But yeah, no, definitely thank you for swinging by the set of the walk. Appreciate it. We hope you enjoyed this episode of like a personal experience from a young Christian and the life, and hopefully that's something that's inspired you. And so before we go, just want to make sure you know of a couple of things. This is the fourth season of this new walk, right? And so we want to make sure, like, if you've never watched before, there's plenty of episodes, so make sure you go back. Definitely have different things from relationships to finance to like, how do you know God is real? All that is there. So a good place to go to is thewalklive.org. You can find that information there. We're going to have something up on the screen, hopefully, where you can connect with us on through text message. So it says never miss a thing. You can receive text alerts when it comes to events, show times. Like, we don't like to just have you watch us. We want to connect as well. So that information is going to be up on the screen. Never miss a thing. Choose if you're age 12 to 18, or if you're over that, there's a separate link for you. And we want to make sure that you can come out and see us. I think the next live or walk is supposed to be live in person.
So have it in person.
Wow.
Live
in person.
audience.
So
Live
March,
audience.
look out for that. It's going to be a good one. And then next things coming up. So young adults, meet us at Pop Stroke on March 1st, 2026. So I think that's not this Sunday, but the following Sunday.
Next Sunday,
So Pop Stroke, it is going to be a good time. The time is 1 to 3 p.m. So you don't want to miss it. There's going to be information to RSVP. We'll also send that out through the text messages as well. And then it's not quite April yet, but like I said, 1/6 of the year is done.
Right.
It's about to be one quarter. So we're now already planning for April. We're going to have a community field day. And you might have experienced field day here before, but we're going bigger this time. So it is for the community. So Sunday, April 19th at 12 p.m. Mark your calendars. We're already planning. We expect it to be big. We've already made some reservations to make sure that there's stuff on property that is different than your normal field day. So mark the calendars, Sunday, April 19th at 12 p.m. So we hope to see you, connect with us in multiple ways. But this wouldn't be complete without a prayer. So can you take us out in prayer?
Absolutely. Right. Father in heaven, we're thankful that you have brought us here. We're thankful that we were able to do this episode, that you brought Faithful here safely. We're thankful for all the things that you did to set this up and orchestrate it. I believe many people can be touched by Faithful's testimony and her story. Her faith in you is definitely very inspiring. And I know that didn't come just like willy-nilly, but it came through intentional effort. And I know that is something that you want for all of us. You want all of us to truly know who you are. You want all of us to build the faith that you have like started the spark of. You know, you've been dropping the breadcrumbs along the way. You've been coming through for us time after time after time, so that we can see that you are a God that can be trusted, not just in the little things, but in the big things. So we're asking that, God, that you will help us to build that relationship with you. Help us to take that next step. Help us to go to that area that you've been pushing us towards. Do that uncomfortable thing. Help us to not be settled where we are, but to continue to strive and press for more. Help us, God, to realize the things that you say about us. Realize that we are loved, we are chosen. You call us to be above and not beneath. You call us to be the head and not the tail. You want us to have life and have it more abundantly. Help us to believe that we are deserving of these things because we are your children. And help us then after that to actually act it out. God, we're asking that you will just bring us to the spaces that you want us to be. God, we're asking that we will not stay the same, that as this year it's going by quickly and as time moves, that we will find when we look back that we are not at the same place that we were before. We're thanking you that, all the people that were able to listen, we're asking that it will be shared as much as possible so many people can be reached by this. We're asking that you will give us all traveling mercies home, that you will keep us safe and bless us until the next walk. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. See y'all later.
Bye.
Whoa. Before you go, make sure you like us on all social media platforms at The Walk Live and find us on any of your favorite podcast platforms. Our journey doesn't have to end here. Join us on the next walk.